I got locked out of my apartment at 1:17 in the morning, and the only person I could ask for help was the neighbor I'd barely spoken to for 6 months. Her name was Sarah. I'd seen her in the hallway hundreds of times. We'd done the awkward neighbor smile, held the elevator for each other. Once I accidentally took her Amazon package and left it outside her door with an apology note. That was basically the extent of our relationship. So standing outside my apartment in sweatpants, holding my useless key, I felt ridiculous knocking on her door. She opened it after a few seconds. She looked at me, then at my clothes, then at the key in my hand. "You locked yourself out, unfortunately." She smiled. "Come in." I expected her to let me sit in the hallway or call a locksmith. Instead, she handed me a blanket. "You can sleep on the couch." I laughed awkwardly. "You sure? Unless you're secretly a serial killer." "I didn't bring my serial-killing clothes." She laughed, and somehow that made everything less embarrassing. She gave me a pillow and went back to her room. I thought that was it. Then around 2:30, I woke up thirsty. I walked into the kitchen. Sarah was sitting at the table in the dark. She was staring at her phone. She quickly locked it. "You okay?" "Yeah." She smiled, but it didn't look real. I grabbed some water and went back to the couch. The next morning, she made coffee. Then she casually asked, "You don't have to go home immediately, right?" I looked at her. "Why?" She hesitated, then said, "I just don't really like being alone in the morning." That was the first time I realized something was off. Over the next few weeks, we started talking more. Not romantic stuff, just normal things. She'd complain about work. I'd complain about my landlord. We'd occasionally eat dinner together in the hallway because neither of us felt like cooking. Then one night, she finally told me why she'd been sitting in that dark kitchen. Her fiancé had died 2 years earlier. She'd moved into the building afterward because she couldn't stand living in their old apartment. The morning was the hardest part because that was when she'd wake up and remember he wasn't there. I didn't know what to say, so I just said, "I'm sorry." She nodded, then smiled. "You know what's stupid?" "What?" "The night you got locked out, I almost didn't open the door." "Why?" She looked down at her coffee. "Because I thought I'd finally gotten used to being alone." Long silence. Then she looked at me. "And when I saw you standing there," she laughed quietly, "I realized maybe I didn't actually want to be." I didn't know when it happened, but that apartment stopped being the place where I accidentally slept on a couch. It became the place where I started feeling at home. Not because we fell in love immediately. We didn't. It was slower than that. Coffee, late night conversations, shared takeout, bad movies, eventually holding hands. And months later, when I finally moved out of my apartment, Sarah helped me pack. Before I left, she handed me my old spare key. I looked at her. "What am I supposed to do with this?" She smiled. "Keep it." "Why?" She shrugged. "So, if you ever get locked out again," she paused, "you know where home is."